Hey all, this is Darren Benton with Performance Motorcoaches out in Wolford, Texas. Bringing you a really cool video of a Peterbilt 389. This particular unit has a Renegade Classic. It's a 45 CBF, so it's a 2-bath bunkhouse. Unfortunately, this unit is already sold, so it's our only CBF on a 389. Don't know if you'd be able to get another one because the evolution of this truck is basically going away. They're changing this truck to a 589, so it'd be a completely different look, much wider cab, but these are kind of the last of a dying breed, that true Peterbilt classic look. It really pairs well with all the white FRP exterior, the white, the chrome. We did all the chrome baggage handles, white top rails, white awnings, white slide toppers. So a really cool setup with all the chrome and all the white on these particular units. I do want to compare really quickly these particular units right here. So this guy right here is actually a 125-inch cab versus the neighbor here. The neighbor is available in a completely different floor plan. This is 131-inch. So basically your difference here, even though there's not a filler panel right here, you have a little bit more gap back behind the fender itself. So essentially the cab is the exact same. It's just you have a much longer hood. So we'll call it a long hood versus a short hood. So 565 horse in this guy, 605 in the long hood. Ultimately, you probably never be able to tell the difference in the power. Same torque, same Cummins X15, same Ultrashift transmission. So very cool, very unique look as well. Obviously, we saw a lot of the CBFs, a ton of the 2-bath units. It's a very, very popular floor plan, probably one of the best resale floor plans out there on the market because so many people, whether they use grandkids, kids, we sell to a lot of people that are in their, say, 45 range. So a lot of the people do have kids. So it's a great floor plan, whether you're taking kids on the road, whether you have a race team. So it's a really cool floor plan, very cool truck as well. So I'm going to come around the front of it. Just wanted to kind of do a good comparison. So I'm 6 foot tall. You can obviously see this very commanding grille, very cool look to it, very bold look as well. Nice bunk over, everything kind of has that really classic look to it. So three slides is what the CBF is. Everything will be mid-entry on the classic line for starting 23 and newer. The CBF used to be a front entry, so get a little bit more space and a little bit different feel for it with the mid-entry. So all your storage compartments are all bed lined. Your hydronic heater, aqua, is right back here, but it makes it pretty nice. They do a nice ledge here, so if you do get a little bit of water in here, the idea is for it to kind of get in this edge, and then there are small little drain holes there. But you only try to option everything with 110 plugs inside there, so if you had a battery chargers for your DeWalt, or if you had a outdoor grill that you wanted to be able to plug in, everything is very, very accessible. Lots of 110 plugs. Outdoor TV, 43-inch smart TV. All the TVs will be smart. Basically, they'll all be 43-inch on this particular unit. Nice setup. And then if you had a little bit of glare, I'd take and push this one way or the other. So if you're underneath the awning here or there, you kind of position your TV wherever you might need it. Little sound bar right there. So gone are the days of a traditional car stereo. If you need to listen to anything, Bluetooth that guy, and you're good to go. It does have the dual pitched awnings up top. So one awning is standard, and then we add the additional rear awning. One to kind of tie everything in, two to just get a little bit more shade down the side of the coach. So aqua hot right there, 45,000 BTU boiler system, very handy unit. They do take a little bit more maintenance than a traditional propane unit. And in fact, 2024, you cannot even get propane as an option on the Classic. But pretty much we build all these with the aqua. For the most part, if you have a little bit of service on these things, you don't have too many issues. The more problematic units were the smaller 250s on the Veronas. So we did I tried to cut it before we went too far. So we do a midship turn signal right there. It makes it kind of handy to have some additional notification if you have a car hanging out here. If you're going to turn your turn signal on, that'll illuminate. Then we do have some additional lights right here if you were in a more confined environment. That's just a clear light right there. So rearwards of the axle, we have what we call a 3/4 pass-through, really wide entry and long as well. We actually have to take and swap these antennas out. They were a little too long. We're flopping pretty good on this, but you can see basically that's how deep that is rearwards of your axle all the way underneath there. So good for, you know, if you had some fishing poles and maybe some skis or even like a long table or chairs. So rearwards of the axle right here, we do have the central vac. There is a 110 connection in there, so if you need to plug something else in there, you could do it. It kind of makes it handy to have the central vac. So you do have a port underneath the bed, and you have a port on the central vac itself. Come around here to the back side. Does have what we call the optional lighting group on the back. Kind of the idea was prior to with just the lights down below, if you had a trailer that didn't illuminate, or a lot of issues whenever you have a towed, and if you have any kind of light problems, you couldn't see the taillights with them being down so low. So they started that right about a little over a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, and they add that as an option. So it just makes it a little bit more visible if you do lose some visibility to your lower lights. So does have the Gen Y hitch on it. Essentially, this particular setup is rated at 40,000 pounds. The hitch itself is rated at 40,000 pounds. However, this guy right here is rated at 30,000 pounds. So you'd have to change it up to like a mini fifth wheel. But I really like the Gen Y setup because it's so easily maneuverable, adjustable. You could flat tow from here. You put a bike rack here. You could do a 2.5-inch receiver down here, 2-inch receiver here. Basically do all kinds of different things with this particular hitch. So cool setup, very easy to use, and you don't have to worry about getting individual pieces apart. It all comes with the coach itself. Trailer 7-way, and then there is a camera plug right below there. Come around the back side, electrical bay there, so automatic cord reel, and there's a 50 amp plug inside that guy. And there's a 110 as well. So anything tandem axle over 40 foot will come standard with the 12.5 Onan. Also comes standard with 3 air conditioners up top. Because of the placement of the generator, not a big fan of running that generator on dirty, dusty roads or any kind of inclement weather. So you'll see up front we option it with a handful of lithium batteries so they can alleviate the generator use. Nice wet bay configuration here. So up front you'll have your gray and your black tanks that are 75 gallons apiece. There is a macerator system on board to evacuate those tanks. And then here, kind of the business side, very easy to use. No stick-on labels. Yes, some of the warning labels are stick-on, but as far as the operational, everything is water jetted in. Everything is powder coated, so very easy to take and use, operate. Do have a power cord reel right here. Whole house water filter. But I mean, really all you need to do is figure out, am I going to fill my tank or am I going to use the pressure? So very, very simple. And then you dump your gray and your black right there. You have a black flush. So kind of idiot proof to a certain degree. This is what I kind of led into earlier in regards to generator. So cool setup right here, lots of lithium. So there's 4 270 amp hour Battleborn lithium batteries there. Nice thing about the lithium is if you get full use out of that, you basically get to about 90% battery capacity on those before the battery goes to internal shutdown. They did do a full Victron system, so you'll have dual 3000 watt Victron inverters. You do have a Victron solar controller, and then you'll have a Cerbo to be able to tie all those components in together and figure out exactly what you're doing with their batteries, how much battery life you have left as well. Up front here we have your large DEF tank, and when I filled this up, I think this DEF tank is like 18 gallons, which is a ton of diesel exhaust fluid, so it makes it pretty handy to not have to fill that dude up over and over and over. So I'll open up the cab. Said narrow cab, but definitely not dated by any means. It has the same dash configuration in regards to your electronics as like the 567 You've seen us do a few of those. We stopped integrating the cameras into the nav screen just because it was too much on one screen, so we went ahead and put the 7-inch monitor up top. So there's 4 inputs on that. You got your 2 side cams on each side, you got a rear, and then you could do additional video switches off that. So if you had a large stacker or trying to integrate a lot more cameras, it'd be a relatively easy thing to take and integrate. Nice comfortable seats, air ride. We'll go ahead and jump inside. I want you guys to see how usable the coach is, even with the slides in. So if you're on the road, or let's say you're pulled over somewhere and needed to be able to utilize a lot of stuff inside the coach without operating the slides, inclement weather or just worrisome, not a problem to take and have plenty of room inside. So I'll let her kind of just pan on each side, stay there. So you can see here, I can get to all my bunks, get to my half bath. I can jump over that bed if I need to. And then, of course, I can come up front, full access to the kitchen area, to the refrigerator, and then inside the cab itself. So just wanted you guys to kind of see. This was a fan favorite right here on a recent trip with the slides in. You still have plenty of room right there to lay down, so you can watch. If you have a really good driver, you can watch your Jeopardy while you're driving up and down the road. We'll go ahead and pause real quick, get slides opened up, have you guys check it all out. Okay, you can see we have a lot more room once we get this big slide out in the outward position. There's a fixed wall over here, so you don't have to worry about this moving. Less maintenance. Just one less thing to kind of have to worry about, especially plumbing in a slide. So nice setup right here. Like I said, it does have the mid-entry versus the earlier ones had the front entry. Gives you a little bit more cabinet space, a little bit longer counter as well. So everything is really nice in the way of cabinetry. All your drawers, they're all Dovetail drawers. They're all soft close. It's a little silverware drawer right here. Seems to be the master remote drawer. So soft close in, you can slam them and they don't actually slam. Part of that Cerbo system that I noted to you earlier, that's your readout right there. Of course, that does full Bluetooth, and then if you do have Wi-Fi on board, which we've done a ton of Starlinks here lately, it'd be relatively easy to hook that in. You can monitor your batteries from anywhere in the world, essentially, as long as you have Wi-Fi. Ton of cabinets. Obviously, with this being a 2 full bath bunkhouse, you have to kind of utilize every little nook and cranny for any kind of food storage. So nice layout right there. It does have a regular residential refrigerator. It's kind of our go-to. We don't really have any issues with the residential. In fact, you won't be able to get an RV refrigerator. In fact, most gas absorption are going to be out. Dometic and Norcold are basically going to be out of that business, which I've always done the residential. I prefer the residential. So up top, we do a cabinet set over on the right-hand side, just so you don't have to get any kind of funky mattress or any kind of, not a funky mattress per se, but any kind of bedding. So 80-inch long mattress, so very standard. It does have the little rooftop hatch right there. They don't like putting ladders on them from the factory. We do install some ladders here for people that want some, but just kind of a nice little feature right there. If you need to get out, check the roof out, do any kind of maintenance, or clean your solar panels up top. So a little bit smaller entry, or a lot smaller entry than, say, a Cascadia. It does have that pull down, and then we did a curtain if somebody wanted the curtain. That's what was in the rear storage compartment. So definitely a little bit tighter guy right there, but just kind of just a part of it. But nice layout. We did drive this particular coach back. We got to enjoy it for a few days. Like I said, the coach did sell over the weekend. AV cabinet up here. So we've done some Starlinks, being able to do some of the routers and such inside the compartment. It's really deep. So convertible booth dinette. We generally try to do a picture window next to the convertible booth, just so you don't have any kind of business, so to speak, blocking off in comparison to that back window. This will let down. You could do I don't think I'm going to sleep there if I can keep from it, but it does lay down. These are set, so you'd have to curl up in a little ball. There's a little cushion that goes into place, but be good for small children or somebody you just gave a lot of beer to. Pull out on both of these, and then a small one here in your theater seats. You do have some storage back there. These are heated and vibrating. The vibrating portion drives me nuts, but the heat's kind of nice. It does have heated tile floors as well. They did get left on earlier today, so it's nice and toasty inside the coach right now. But full array of cabinets over the top there. You do have an additional Firefly operating screen there. Firefly is incredibly easy to operate. Basically operate everything inside the coach off those, and it does have a Bluetooth app to be able to do it from outside the coach. We can upgrade that to a full Wi-Fi app as well. Between the batteries and between the operating system, you can operate this coach from 1,000 miles away. So nice big wide entry. That was kind of what people liked about the mid-entries. It's a very open feel right here. You do have the 43-inch smart TV above. This will take and pop away from the wall. So you can go here or there. Do the coat rack over here. I just don't like them here. Just kind of messes it up, but we can easily add any of that stuff after the fact. Washer dryer pair right here. They are separated, which makes it a little bit easier to service them. You don't have to pull, if your washer went out, you don't have to pull your dryer out. Basically, you pull them out independently. It makes it a little bit easier. They do a really nice little plumbing setup right here, so you don't have to worry about going to the back to unhook any plumbing at all. And a nice little spot to be able to put your little pods and such. Magnetic pocket door right here to be able to close this off, keep the kiddos. Bless you. Nice setup here. They've gotten rid of all the big combos. The combos were a mess because they just got too darn heavy. People put 7 cans of hominy in them and then they wonder why they break. So very easy to get to. So, as I was reminded earlier, this is not a half bath, it's a full bath. Still a full bath, it's always been a full bath. So, full bath, definitely a little bit tighter, but the nice thing is I can wash my hands and feet, do my business all at the exact same time. But it's just it's the proverbial 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bucket. So, but everything is still usable. I can take and close this guy, I can get into this shower as well. Solid surface gives you a little bit more room than the fiberglass showers as well. Do have the teak shower seat. I'll do my little part. I get in here, not a ton of room. I can move around to a certain degree. It'd be best, obviously, if I was a little bit of an angle, but it's just kind of what you get whenever you try to get a 2 full bath like this. You have decent storage here. And then, of course, up top, got the vanity. There's a window here, and you do have a fan up top there. So I'll plop down in the beds here. Now, what is a little strange, if you option these with the TV, they actually reverse it. I think that if I was going to be laying in bed, I'd want my feet here and my head here, but everybody has their own particular preference. But we generally don't option them with the flip-down TVs. Just another thing to have to worry about. Most of those drop-down TVs are kind of a cheaper setup anyhow. Little pocket door right here. It's actually a dual assembly. So you don't have 100% total privacy from your master. You have this little open spot right here. So if your kids drive you nuts, just plan on putting them up in the bunk over or in a tent outside. So we optioned up most of the bedroom configurations the same on all the coaches. So we try to do the egress at the head of the bed. Some people do enjoy laying in bed, reading their phones more nowadays and drinking coffee. We could do an egress window over here, but we kind of feel that most people like this particular setup the very best, in that you have this monster closet. If you do the egress, you do a much smaller TV. You lose all this. You lose all your storage back behind here as well. So we like this particular setup the very best to give you a 43 versus a 32, give you a lot more storage. But if you want to order something, we can definitely do any kind of configuration you might want. So nice, same caliber of drawer glides here in the back, all solid maple. This is a woodstock stain. This is kind of my go-to. Unfortunately, they're going to change up the configuration a little bit on the 2024s, but this is kind of my go-to. We did not get the slide all the way out, so let me get it out. So you can kind of see a little bit more room to it. But even with that thing halfway slid in and out, it wasn't a horrible setup. So fresh water below the bed itself. So 2 75-gallon tanks. Make it incredibly easy to take and winterize any of these things and dump your fresh water. So you catch this valve right here. You can dump it in a hurry, not a small valve. And if you need to take and winterize it, grab this clear hose, grab your winterization valve. Need about 5 gallons of RV antifreeze, but very, very easy to take and winterize this dude. Full 80-inch long mattress, so not an RV 75. So if you're tall, 6 foot over, you don't feel like you're hanging off the edge of the bed. They do a nice pad above the head of the bed, so basically you can drop all the lights in the house. Let me go master on, start your generator. Of course, you have an app to be able to take and do that, but if you just forget that at night, you can easily drop all the lights in the house. So plenty of storage back here. Large shower as well. So you can plop that up or down. Makes it really easy if you have a female companion who wants to shave your legs, or if you had somebody elderly that needed a little bit of assistance in here, be able to do this or sit down. We do have some of the additional shower caddies, so if you had a ton of hair products, you can take it and put some additional caddies here and there. We generally kind of hang these up for transport, so they seem to kind of bounce their ways out, but this does slide up and down. Be able to pick and put this guy wherever you want, but just better safe than sorry. We generally set them up there about like this so they don't jump out if you get on a really rough road. So solid surface countertops and the sinks to go along with them. Ton of storage here and there. There is a drawer, pulls out, and obviously still a lot of room here to be able to sit down and do your business without being incredibly crowded. So nice setup, and like I said, this is all these 2 baths always do an incredible job on resale. They're very desirable for people with large families because you can actually sit people versus having to take out furniture and fold them out. But nice setup, nice colors, great unit. If something does fall through with regards to the buyer, we'll make sure we update our website. But really happy with the way that these Peterbilts turned out. They just get a ton of attention. Out on the road, people pull up next to you and they give you thumbs up. So kind of a, something that I think will really help the resale value of these things, being that very nostalgic look. But cool setup. Make sure you guys come out, keep on liking our videos. We really appreciate it. We did 2 videos tonight. Probably should have spaced them out a little bit. We definitely will be back in Indiana. We've got some Explorers coming. We've got a ton of sold show haulers that will be doing videos that were bought. I guess they were ordered 2 years ago, but pretty excited about doing those, especially meeting those customers at the factory, doing a lot of factory deliveries for some of those customers as well. So make sure you guys keep on coming out. If you're watching this part of the video, we really appreciate it because it means you went all the way through. So make sure you guys keep on liking, tagging, and subscribing.